I'm super excited to... Hi, I'm Kate and welcome to my channel. I'm super excited today. Yesterday, my Glamlite palette finally arrived. So I've been wanting to try Glamlite for a while. I was very close to picking up the cake palette and then the ice cream dream palette. One of their little pie palettes were really cute. So I've been close but haven't pulled the trigger until I saw this. And oh, it's so pretty. I hope all those little shimmers show in the camera. So I'm thinking for this, because there is such a variety of colors and I want to use as much as possible, I think I'm going to do a 3 looks kind of first impression today. Well, not just today, it'll take me a couple days, but because there's so much variety in this palette, I want to use a lot of shades. So 3 looks it is. This will also be my first impression, not just of this palette, but of the brand in general. I've heard fantastic things, so I'm really excited to try this today. So just looking at the colors, I put out to Instagram like what colors people wanted to see used, and the first suggestion that I got was purple and green. So I'm thinking today I'll do something with purple and green. We'll see about the other days. But before I get started, I'm gonna go off camera, do my brows, prime my eyes, and I'll be back. Alright, so I filled in my brows, I primed my eyes. I am back to using my Ulta primer, and then I've been using the Juvia's Place just to kind of carve out my brows. But I've kind of realized the Ulta has better staying power under the shadows than the Juvia's Place. Alright, so diving into this, like I said, I'm going purple and green. So I think I'm going to start dark, and I'm actually going to grab the shade Willow, which it looks brown in the pan, but I remember hearing that it's more of like a purpley brown. And then I'll buff that out probably with MJ, which is this lighter purple. So I did swatch a bunch of the shimmers yesterday when I got the palette, so I'll put picture or video, I don't remember if it's picture or video, if I still have it, in here just to show what that looked like. I'm not going to swatch the whole palette as part of this video because it is a big palette. I mean, it's 30 shades. I haven't really been into bigger palettes lately, but this one I was super drawn to. Like I said, I've been wanting to try the brand for a while, and I really enjoy Mikayla and her content. That definitely didn't sway me in purchasing. However, I have been watching Glamlite's releases, like I said, for a while. I just really liked this one. I liked the colors. I like the kind of orangey neutrals in here as well. And Glamlite, for being an indie brand, is pretty decently priced. I think it was like $40, which for 30 shades of good quality is really good. And I was trying to talk myself out of it when my husband convinced me to go ahead and get it. So thank you, honey. Alright, so this is just building up really easily. It's really pigmented. I'm kind of pressing it in and then lightly buffing, but it's a really pretty tone. I don't know that I have much in this kind of deep purple. Alright, so I'm just going to use the color switch and wipe that off and then dip into that MJ shade and kind of start to put that on the edge there. The purple is not a big color for me. I don't do a lot of purple. I do a lot of green, but I don't really put them together. I say as I'm pretty sure I recently did a look of purple and green, Nomad and Davina stuff. But in general, it's not a combination that I do. Alright, those are laying down really well. So I'm just gonna kind of buff this and kind of pull it into a bit of a point out here. Just make it a little less rounded. Other than a few of these soft shades, there isn't, I like to have kind of an almost white shade to buff things out with, just because I have such a light skin tone. So that's one thing that isn't in here, but I have plenty other options to dip into if I really want that. But we'll see if I just, again, use the color switch and essentially an empty brush, if that's good enough with these shadows. I've learned with some higher quality mattes, I don't even need a lighter shade to buff it out with. And it looks like that's buffing out really well on its own. I think that looks really nice. You have a nice gradient from deep to light. So I think I'm good with the purples. I'm gonna stop there and I'm gonna cut the crease using the Juvia's Place concealer. I'm gonna cut this out of the video, but when I come back, hopefully I will have a beautiful cut crease happening. Alright, so I'm back. I cut out the crease and I'm gonna dip into these greens. So the shade Bonehead is a really pretty green, and then you have Stunnin', which is kind of like a pukey gold green, which is really pretty. So I'm gonna start with Bonehead and just start to build that up out here. But, oh, that's so pretty. Hope it shows. So I'm gonna just start tapping that in out here. All of these shimmers are so pretty. So yeah, I don't know how much this look goes as a look, but I was requested to do purple and green. I considered doing like an all matte with that really pretty minty green on the lid. I think Mikayla actually did a look like that, but I had to dip into these shimmers today. I don't know, does this feel kind of Halloween-y, like purple and green, maybe? Alright, so I pulled it most of the way through, so now I'm gonna grab the shade Stunnin', which, oh, that's pretty, and pop that on the inner part. I like that. And then I'm gonna kind of up that over the other green a little bit to blend those together nicely. It is summer vacation for me. I'm a teacher. I feel like this might be a little crazy for a work day, even though I go pretty colorful to school most days, but maybe not purple and lime green. Okay, these shimmers are so pretty, but this is definitely an interesting look. All right, I'm gonna dip back into the deep purple, which is Willow, and just kind of buff those together a little bit. Just right here. Make that edge a little less harsh. I think I'm gonna stop there on the lid. I'm gonna go off camera and do all my face products, and I'll be back to finish up with the shadows. All right, so I went in with all my face products, the Fenty foundation, Patrick Ta bronzer and blush, all my skincare. So I think what I'm gonna start doing is I really wanna use that minty green. So I'm gonna pop that kind of inner corner and a little bit under. I'm not sure that it quite goes with the look, but I really wanna use that shade. I'm just gonna pop that in here and pull it a little bit. I mean, I could have used the shade Loop, which is more of a chartreusey green, but we're trying to use as many shades as possible. It's a really pretty green though. Then I'm gonna go in with that really rich purple Willow again and pop that under. Let's connect it to the top. Then I'm going to take that light purple MJ and buff out the edges of Willow. I am really excited just about the variety in this palette. There are so many different directions you can go. You have pinks, purples, blues, greens, yellows, oranges, neutrals. All right, I think I'm gonna stop there with the eyeshadow. So I didn't pick up any of the lashes or anything from the collection. I considered picking up the whole collection because the lashes were really pretty and I really want a new highlighter. I've been using Ofra and just looking for something different. But then as I saw, you know, people's PR boxes coming in, it sounded like the highlighter was very shimmery and I don't need a shimmery highlight. I feel like I'm a little too old for that. Not too old for bright colors, but in terms of like the texture that it gives my skin if I put a shimmery highlight on. So I ended up just picking up the palette, which is fine. This is definitely quite bold for Tuesday. But I'm gonna go off camera and do my liner. Should probably do a lash with this look. We'll see. And I'll be back. Excuse my hair. It wouldn't quite cooperate today. I'm back. Here's the final look. What do you think? I'm super impressed, especially with these shimmers. I mean, the mattes blended out beautifully as well. I only used three, because I popped that green in there, but I'm really impressed so far. This isn't necessarily a look that I would wear like out. Although I am going out, I'm gonna go babysit and run some errands, so I will be out and about. I did go in with a lash. I put on the ColourPop Bay lash. I did trim them down quite a bit. And then for the lips, I wanted something more neutral, so I also went in with ColourPop. This is the California Love Velvet Blur. Kind of reminds me of the Powder Kiss from MAC, just a really soft matte, not a drying matte. But yeah, here's the first look, dipping into some purples and greens. And here comes look number 2. All right, let's dive right in for look number 2 with the Mikayla palette. So I really enjoyed my look yesterday, purples and greens. I'm not quite sure what direction I want to go today. I'm thinking maybe orange and blue. I do want a reason to use this shimmer Manifest, which is like a taupey lavender silver. I I don't even know how to describe it. That's really pretty. But then some of those neutrals, like Glow Up is this really pretty, soft, peachy. Kind of want to use that. Then Accent is right below there. So there are some really, really pretty neutrals in here, but I think it won't end up fully neutral because the deepest brown shade is this shade, which we used yesterday and comes across very purple on the eye. But that's fine. I don't need any dark neutral browns. I have plenty. So I'm gonna let myself think about it a little bit more while I do my brows and prime my eyes, and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Brows are filled in, eyes are primed, coffee is full. All right, so I feel like I want to use maybe the yellow, this kind of peachy orange, maybe a little blue. So I'm gonna start by building up the shade Buffalo Chicken, which is a really pretty kind of soft peachy orange. So I'm going to start just building that up right here. So I'm just going to build that up kind of on the front end of the crease, like so. And these mattes are really soft. Like there's some kick up, but they seem to be really pigmented and blend really well, which is really nice because those are kind of the two things that I hope to get out of mattes, pigment and blendability. But there is kick up in the pan, so that's not something that bothers me because it typically means that they will blend really well. But keep that in mind if that's something that bothers you. All right, that built up really easily. That was like 1 or 2 dips in each side. So I've been doing a lot of teals lately, but I don't do a lot of like bright blues. So I think I am gonna dip into the bright blue, which is Mass Hole. Same brush, color switch, and dipping in there. Definitely not a typical color combo for me. I don't do a lot of like true blues, and I don't do a lot of orange. Trust the process, I hope. Okay, I kind of wish I hadn't gone in with blue. I'm not loving that together. So I think what I want to do is tone down the blue a little bit. There isn't a dark brown, but I'll go in with this How You Doin' shade and just see if I can kind of mute that blue. Because I want like a tinge of blue without it being too bright. I'm getting a little bit of patchiness with those. Like, I don't know if you can see that line that it's just not sticking to, but I do like the muted look a little bit better. I am running some errands with a friend today, so I don't want to be too crazy. Not that that stops me any other days. But here you can still kind of see the blue popping through, but it's a little muted. Almost turned it into like a slate blue. All right, I think I want to pop into Rhody, which is the really light blue, and just kind of lightly put that on the edges. Like just a tiny bit, and buff it around a little bit. That might not even show up on camera. It's showing up on here a little bit. So that's that. I'm not loving this so far, but I'm gonna grab, maybe I'll grab that same brown How You Doin' and just kind of pop that a little closer to the crease with a smaller brush. Just a little bit right here. So I want to keep that orange tone, but I just need a little more depth too. And then I'll go in with a fluffy brush and that Buffalo Chicken shade again and just kind of swipe that across up here. Just make sure I still have that brightness. So far, this is not my favorite. Maybe I'll do a full cut crease just to kind of take away from that. So I'm gonna go off camera and do a cut crease and I'll be back. I'm not quite sure where this is going or what direction I'm going to take it. I think I'm gonna start with the shade Glow Up though. That's that really pretty kind of peachy with a couple different reflex. I'm gonna start that in the center of the lid, or not the center, the inner part of the lid, and just pop that in here. Oh, that's a really pretty shade. I'm not putting down a glitter primer because my concealer in there is still kind of tacky. That's really pretty. I hope kind of that reflex shows on camera, especially next to that orange shade. It looks really nice. So I'm going to take that about up to the middle of the lid right there, and I have not figured out what I'm going to do on the rest of the lid. But I'm hoping the shimmers will save this. I mean, I know orange and blue are opposite on the color wheel, so of course they kind of get muddy together, but I don't know. These shimmers are a little fall outy, but that's fine. I haven't done my face yet. So that's a really pretty shade. That is the shade Glow Up, and it's like a peachy pink gold shade. Do I want to add a little pink in here? No, I don't. I'm gonna go into that Manifest shade, which is this one right here. It's kind of a taupey, silvery, with a little bit of a lavender tinge, and I'm gonna pop that right on the center here and kind of blend those two together. Okay, this is ending up a little bold, maybe a little more bold than what I was intending. That's okay. Okay, I don't know about this. I don't think that was the right choice. I'm gonna tap Glow Up over that a little bit just to get them to kind of meld together better. Then I think for the outer part of the cut crease, I'm gonna grab the shade Audrey, which is the teal shimmer. I'm gonna use a brush because I need it to be a little more accurate out there. We shall see if I can kind of keep that in the wing. And part of that will probably get covered up with a wing anyways. Well, this is definitely not like any look I've done before, but I'm just trying to use as many colors as possible. I've used now a couple purples, I've used some greens, now I've used an orange and a blue and brown. All right, I think my favorite though is that front shimmer Glow Up. So I'm gonna stop here. Not loving it, but maybe it will all come together in the end. We shall see. But I'm gonna go off camera and do all my face products, and I'll be back to finish up with the shadows. All right, I'm back. So I went in with most of the same face stuff. The only difference is for blush, I went in with the Patrick Ta in Do We Know Her because it's kind of orangey toned, so I thought it fit with the look today. So here's where we're at. I don't hate it. Like, I really like that Glow Up shimmer. I'm gonna have to do like a more just brown look with that on the lid at some point. Before I hop back into the shadows, I'm gonna go in with this ColourPop liner in DTLA on the waterline. I'll probably cut this out of the video because I have to get up close and personal with the mirror, but this is going in on the waterline just to tie in that blue. All right, so I'm going to start by grabbing the really rich True Blue Mass Hole right here. And I think I'm gonna layer that with the brown again, kind of like I did up here, but on the lower lash line. And I'm kind of connecting it to that wing that we created. Okay. Then I'm gonna dip into that brown and just kind of build that with it. Kind of make it more of a slate blue than a true bright blue. And then with a really fluffy brush, I'm gonna take the lightest blue Rhodey and just kind of buff that out a little bit. So that's where we're at with that. I think for the inner corner, I'm just gonna take that Glow Up shade again. So I don't really think any other shimmers go with it. I don't think the silver quite goes. The other ones are all a little too deep. So I'm gonna grab Glow Up on a little brush and kind of tap that in here just for a little highlight. Drag it under a tiny bit, getting a little bit of fallout on the face. All right, well, this is definitely not a typical look for me, but I think I'm gonna stop there with the eyeshadow. I'm gonna go off camera and do just black liner, probably add a bit of a wing to kind of cover up some of that. And I think I'm gonna add a lash today. Since this is really bold, I feel like it needs a lash. Find a lip and I'll be back. All right, I'm back with the final look. For the lip, I went in with this orange lippy pencil and then just kind of a neutral lipstick, kind of keeping up the orange vibes of this look. I like it more than I thought I would. The shadows perform beautifully. I'm just unsure of this color story. Very atypical of me. I don't really do a lot of true blues and I don't do a lot of orange, but I am obsessed with this front shimmer Glow Up. So trying to think of which direction to go tomorrow. I've used some purples now, I've used some blues, I've used greens, I've used an orange. I don't know that I want to do a fully neutral look for the purpose of this video. I will probably do some on my Instagram, so take a look over there. Maybe kind of a pinky purple look, which is again very not typical of me. Or maybe I want to mix just a bunch of colors together. We shall see. I'll maybe put it out to Instagram tonight to see what people are hoping to see. Here's look number 2 and here comes look number 3. All right, so let's get into look number 3. I don't even know which direction to go. So I've used greens, I've used a little bit of blue, a little bit of orange, a little bit of purple. I'm not a huge pink person. This pink, it's really soft and pretty, called Simping. I don't know, that is really pretty. And the shade next to it is Immaculate. So I feel like this would be a beautiful springy palette. Or do I want to go like really neutral? I am kind of torn. You know, maybe I will do like a yellow to pink. I haven't used yellow, I haven't used any pink. What do we think of that? Would that be fun? I don't know. I just don't know. Like, it's so pretty. I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of looks with this palette, so please check me out on Instagram, and I'm sure I will have a lot of looks that aren't in this video, but I'm gonna go off camera, do my brows, prime my eyes, think about my plan for this look, and I'll be back. Alright, so I think I am gonna start with the yellow, blend it in the pink, maybe into something else. I don't know. I don't want to feel like an Easter egg, but we shall see. So I'm gonna dip into yellow, which is the shade Handy, and start to pop that just right. Oh, that's bright. Okay. And I went in with the Ulta eye primer, which I know the Juvia's Place is lighter, but I just have found, as much as I like the Juvia's primer, I use that to carve out my brows because it's a nice, really bright color, but the Ulta, just the store brand eye primer, has better staying power really than any primer I've tried. Better than the Urban Decay, better than Too Faced, better than Natasha Denona. So I've gone back to my Ulta. Right, that is a really pretty bright yellow. All right, I'm gonna just use the color switch and then go in with the same brush with the pink. It's a really fun, like, super bubblegum pink. The shade is Iconic. And connect it to the yellow. It should make kind of a pretty soft orange shade when they connect. I love yellow shadows, but I never use pink. I just don't like how pink looks on me. I've never been a huge pink lover, so we'll see. But maybe if it's just like a little pop here, it won't be too bad. I don't think I'm gonna do a cut crease today. I've done cut creases the last 2 looks, so today I'm looking to keep it a little more simple. So I feel like I need to use the shade Frisky, which is this really rich, pretty purple down here, and I'm just gonna kind of finish off the lid with that. All right, those blend together really nice. All right, and I'm gonna drag that kind of under the pink a little bit. All right, that's fun. All right, so kind of trying to use as many shades as I can out of this palette because it is a big 30 pan palette. All right, so I think that's good. I'm gonna stop there. Like I said, I don't think I'm gonna do a cut crease, but I am going to lay down the NYX glitter primer just to help those shimmers stick. Now there isn't a yellow shimmer for the center, but I might use the shade Glow Up again, just right in the beginning, and then fade it into Simping, which is that pink. And then purple, I have 2 options. I have Portuguese and Immaculate. So I feel like the softer one works better, which is Immaculate. So I'm gonna pop down the primer and just kind of get that all over where I'm gonna want those shimmers to stick. And then while that is still tacky, I'm gonna start with the pink right in the center here. Pretty. And then I'm gonna grab Immaculate, which is the purple, and pop that right out here. And then grab Glow Up and pop that in the center, or in the front, I guess. So I have 3 shimmers blended together there. I like it. Those laid down and just blended right in, super easy. So you can kind of see the gradient from Glow Up to the pink Simping to Immaculate. So 3 shimmers on the lid. So I'm just gonna take an empty brush and blend out the edges of these shadows just to soften it up a little bit, give it kind of an airbrushed feel. There isn't really any other light mattes in this palette. They are pretty rich, so you can kind of see the difference. This looks a little harsher, this looks a little softer. Those are blending out really well without even needing pigment on a brush. Well, I'm actually really liking this look. For not being a pink or purple kind of person, I like it. So I think I'm gonna stop there on the lid. I'm gonna go off camera and do all my face products. Maybe a nice pinky blush today, and I'll be back to finish up with the eyeshadow. Alright, so I went in with all of my usual face products. I did do a more pink blush from Patrick Ta, and then I added a highlight. I did pick up the Makeup by Mario highlight. It's really hard for me to find a highlighter that's light enough for my skin tone, but not like super dusty. So it's really subtle, but I don't know if you can even see the glow on camera, but I like it. Alright, so dipping back into the eyeshadow, I'm gonna grab a pretty small brush, and I'm gonna start building up the yellow into the pink, into the purple, just like we did on the top. All right, so we're gonna go yellow, just there. Then I'm gonna dip back into the pink Iconic. Same brush, and take that almost to the edge. And then lastly, go into the shade Frisky, which is that purple, and then connect that to the lid shades, just like so. All right, and then just like I did with buffing out the top, I'm gonna take an empty brush and just kind of start to buff out those edges. So just gonna go on in, just buff out those harsh lines a little bit. All right, and for the inner corner highlight, I'm gonna take the shade that I put right here, which is Glow Up. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna take the silver, which is Nas, right there. Since I haven't used that shade, pick that up on this brush and tap it right in there. I don't know that that really goes with the look, but that's okay. I'm gonna layer the pink shimmer on top of that just to kind of tone down the silver. All right, there we go. All right, so I think I'm done with the shadows. I really like how those shimmers look. And I'm gonna go off camera and do some liner and mascara. I might add just a really simple lash, nothing too bold to take away from what's on the lid. So I'll do all that, try to find a lip, and I'll be back. All right, so I'm back with the final look. I'm not a pinky purple person, but this might be my favorite look out of the three. I just love these shimmers. The mattes blend out beautifully. They blend together really well. I did go in just with an Ardell Wispy lash, so nothing super fluffy, just to add a little bit of definition. And then for the lip, I have a ColourPop lip pencil, and then I topped it with a gloss from Arachna Beauty. So this is a really small new brand. This is the shade Pink Peony, and I thought that just went with the look today. So here we go. Yellow, pink to purple. So I have used 18 shades out of the 30. So I feel like I have a pretty good idea. And again, this is my first try with Glamlite, and I am super impressed. This is a beautiful palette. You can go a million different directions with this, and performance-wise, it's fantastic. So if you like colorful makeup, and yes, you have some staple neutrals, the only thing that's missing neutral-wise is like a deep brown, because this, even though it looks brown in the pan, it is very purple on the eye. I don't need that when I'm looking for a colorful palette. So this is beautiful. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know if there's any other color combinations you want to see out of this palette. Check me out on Instagram. I have a feeling I'll be using this quite a bit in the coming days and weeks. But again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.